Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about theater mode in Halo because theater mode is one of the many things that I feel has been at a steady decline since it was introduced in Halo 3. Even though Halo 3 was the first Halo game to have a theater mode, to this day I still feel like Halo 3's theater mode was the best. And real quick before I go any further, I just wanted to say something about the gameplay you're going to be seeing. This first match is actually my first game I ever played of Reach. I got back from the midnight release of Halo Reach, popped in the game, and joined some friends, and it was a custom game on Reflection. So this is my actual first match of Halo Reach that I ever played, besides the beta. That doesn't count. So, don't expect too much out of my gameplay, because it's honestly pretty bad. And the next game you're going to be seeing is my first Halo Reach matchmaking game. Again, the gameplay isn't that great. And this final match you're going to be seeing is I was playing Invasion by myself, and I got into a game with a group of people. They all had mics, and they were teaching me about what HLG is, Hidden League Gaming, if you guys remember that. And they taught me this hiding spot on the map Powerhouse in Invasion, and yeah, it was pretty interesting, and you'll see that later on in this video. So yeah, that's enough talking about the gameplay, and let's get into this. So first off, Halo 3 got a theater mode at a time where, to my knowledge, no other game had a theater mode. Sure, maybe there were a couple games that did have a theater mode, but even then, there weren't a lot of other games that had a theater mode back when Halo 3 came out. Halo 3 came out back in 2007, and Call of Duty didn't get a theater mode until 2010 with Black Ops 1. Gears of War still doesn't have a theater mode. Battlefield doesn't have a theater mode. And you know, before I started recording this video, I actually looked up Gears of War theater mode, Battlefield theater mode, just to confirm that them games don't have a theater mode. And when I looked that up, it was like the first search result where there was people saying Gears of War should have a theater mode like Halo 3, or Battlefield should have a theater mode like Halo 3 did back in the day. People were referencing Halo 3's theater mode, a game that came out back in 2007. And I think a big reason that people look to Halo 3 when they think of a theater mode is because Halo 3 was one of the first games to ever do it. And the theater mode in that game was pretty damn polished for the most part. You know, I remember back in the day when Call of Duty commentaries were really popular on YouTube, I always thought it was crazy that people, when people were trying to get a good gameplay for their commentary, they would have to record as they're playing. So they could be recording for hours and hours and hours trying to get a good gameplay. But as most of you know, in Halo 3, you wouldn't have to record while you were playing. You could just be playing, trying to get a good gameplay on Halo 3, and once you get that good gameplay, then you go into theater and then you record it. And that is only one of the benefits that comes from having a theater mode. So not only could you go back and watch games that you played, but you could also choose to save them games, and you'd have them forever. You just go to theater, you find the game you want to save, and you click save, and it's that simple. It's that easy, and then that's there forever. Well, forever assuming nothing weird happens. If you guys like Red Bull, you gotta try the coconut berry Red Bull. Like, this shit is great. Like, I like it better than... I used to only like the original Red Bull, but now this is my new favorite. I know it sounds weird, coconut berry, but it's really good. You gotta try it. And you know, one of the coolest things about being able to save films in Halo 3 is that today I can go back and I can watch films from 2007, 2008, and that is just so cool to me. Like, back in the day, I didn't have a camera or a camera phone, but I did have Halo 3's theater, and I know that sounds weird, but to me that is like looking back and watching old videos of me when I go back and I watch these old film clips I have saved on Halo 3. Because even though it is just gameplay I'm watching, I remember those games. Some of them games. I remember how old I was and what time it was, and I remember events from that exact day, from that moment, and that is just so cool to me that I have them games saved forever. Like, I'll be watching an old film, and even though I'm just looking at gameplay, I know that I was 15 years old during that game, and I remember exactly how my setup in my room was and where I was sitting and what time it was, and I remember them things about some of the games I have saved, and that is really awesome. Even though Halo has always been my main game, I did play a lot of Call of Duty back in the day. COD 4, World at War, MW2, and yet I don't have any films saved that I can go back and watch from any of them games today. Obviously, because them games didn't have a theater mode. You know, Halo 3 really was before its time. Not just theater mode, but Halo 3 in its entirety. And when you compare Halo 3's theater mode to some recent games that also have a theater mode, Halo 3's theater is either on par, if not better, than the theater modes in a lot of these recent games. In Halo 3's theater mode, you had recent films where I forget exactly how many games you could build up within recent films before the oldest games started getting deleted, but it was quite a bit. And shit, even if I get on Halo 3 right now, I have games in my recent films that they're not saved, but they're in my recent films from months ago, and they're still there. That's insane. But within the recent films, if there is a game that you want to save, you find that game and you save it, and it's that simple. And then once you actually go into the theater film and you're watching it, you can watch it first person, third person, you can go fly cam, and the controls just felt so good. And obviously the controls will vary depending on what button or stick layout you're playing on, but I think for most people it was the same. You know, Y to detach the camera, and you can go fly cam. Left on the D-pad to go back a couple seconds within the film. And I really love how Halo's theater mode handles fast forwarding and slowing down films. You do it with the right trigger on the controller. If you want to speed the film up as fast as it goes, you just press the right trigger down all the way. If you want to slow it down, then you press the trigger down just a little bit. If you want to record a clip for like a montage or something that starts out slow but gradually gets faster, all you got to do is you slowly press down, you slowly pull the right trigger on the controller, and it'll start out slow-mo and it'll gradually get faster as you pull the trigger, which the Halo's theater controls just felt so smooth and comfortable. With theater mode in other games, you might have to bring up a menu and then click rewind or fast forward if that's what you want to do. And if you want to speed the clip up, you might have to set it to ×2 or ×4, ×16. But with Halo's theater mode, everything was just very simple. Left on the D-pad to go back, A to pause, Y to detach the camera and fly around. Just pull the right trigger if you want to speed the clip up or slow it down. You pull it slightly. It was all perfect. Well, it wasn't perfect, but it was damn near close. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Forge and Theater won't be available at launch when Reach comes to PC, because of the controls. Like we just talked about, how the right trigger on the controller is how you speed up a clip or you slow it down. And like I explained, you can take a clip that's slow and gradually increase the speed of the clip the farther you pull in that trigger. And on a keyboard or a mouse, that would be kind of weird. How do you do them gradual increases from slow to fast? Or even how do you just slow down the clip in general? Because On console, you just pull the trigger in a little bit. What am I going to press a key in a little bit? No, it doesn't work like that on a keyboard. You press a key, it's one set value. It's not you press the key in a little bit and it goes slow. You press the key in all the way and it goes fast. That's not how that works. So I think that's the main reason why Forge and Theater are going to be delayed when Reach comes to PC, because they got to figure out all the controls and how that'll work on PC. Now, another huge benefit of having a theater mode in Halo is that you can go into that film and you can do things like, you know, play the clip in slow-mo, or go fly cam and you can fly around the map as you're watching the game play out. You could also record some cool angles and get some nice shots while you're in fly cam, or even third person. And having theater mode in Halo has always been something kind of vital for montage makers, because when you're making a montage, you're going to want to go in and record angles for your montage. So you don't want to just your montage to only consist of first person perspective the entire montage. No, you'd want to go in, go fly cam, and record different angles as you're getting these really cool clips. And having theater mode in Halo, it allows you to do that. You can go into theater mode and record them cool angles. And I'm going to touch more on that in a bit. So now that we have established all the benefits of having a feature like theater mode in a game, and why Halo 3's theater mode was so great, now I want to talk about how Halo's theater mode has been at a steady decline since Halo 3. So first off, the big thing that separates Halo 3's theater mode from all the other Halo games is that you could go into theater with you and 3 other people. So a maximum of 4 people could go into theater mode and watch a film together. Now, to this day, it is still not clear to me as to why every Halo game after Halo 3 only allowed you to go into theater mode and watch a film by yourself. You can't go in with anybody else, just you. Halo 3 being the only Halo game where you could go into theater with 4 people. Now, yeah, there was a glitch on MCC that allowed you to go into theater mode and watch a film clip with several people, but that was just a glitch, and I don't think that's possible anymore, and that's besides the point. It was always so annoying to me back in the day when I was playing Halo Reach a lot, and I could only go into theater mode by myself. That pissed me off so much. It was so annoying because I used to go into theater mode with friends all the time on Halo 3. All the time I did that. And now, in the newer Halo game, I can only go in by myself, which was just a step backwards. Now, I said this in another video, I think it was my Halo Reach video, but I'm gonna say it again because this video is about theater mode. In Halo 3, if I did something cool in a game, right? If I was playing with a friend and I got an overkill in a match, right? If I want to show that overkill to my friend, all I have to do once the match ends is switch the lobby to theater mode and start up the film clip. That's it. That's all I gotta do. I'm playing with my friend, the match ends, we're in the lobby at the end of the game, I just switch the lobby to theater mode, start up the film clip, and then I can show them that overkill or whatever I want to show them. That's simple on Halo 3. Now with Halo Reach, which came after Halo 3, if I'm playing matchmaking with a buddy and I get a really cool clip in a match and I want to show that to them, it's a little bit of a longer process. In Reach, after the game is over, I can't just switch to the theater lobby and start up the film and show my friend this awesome clip or whatever, because you can only watch films by yourself. So what I would have to do is, after the game is over, I would have to leave the lobby, go to theater by myself, start up the film, get to the part where the clip happens, record it, then end the film, put the recording on my file share, my friend downloads the recording from my file share, he goes into theater, he watches it, then he joins my game and we continue playing matchmaking again. Like, I just remember that being so annoying, man. Like, after using Halo 3's theater so much and going in with friends and watching films, and then Reach, you could only go in by yourself. And just, it's that much longer of a process if you want to show your friends something that happened in a match. And then it was the same thing with Halo 4 and Halo 5. You could only go into theater and watch a film by yourself. And I want to know why. I want to know why you can only do it by yourself. Why? How come Halo 3 I could have 4 people watching a film clip, but Halo Reach, Halo 4, and Halo 5 and MCC, you can only go in by yourself? Like, why? Like I mentioned before, there was a glitch in MCC where you could go in and you could watch theater films with multiple people, even more than 4 people. You could go in. And I mean, yeah, it was really glitchy and, people would lag out, but it was, after all, it was just a glitch that allowed you to do that in MCC, to go into theater with multiple people. But the ability was still there. It was possible. You could go in and you could watch theater films with other people in MCC when that glitch did exist, but I don't think you can do it anymore. So why is it so impossible to bring that back? Like, I don't understand. Why is that just something that that isn't being thought about, or is it not possible for some unknown reasons? Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that both Halo 4 and Halo 5 did not have campaign theater, and that was a big thing for some people. And even if it wasn't a big thing for you, it's still another example of how theater mode has declined since Halo 3. Now, when it comes to Halo 5's theater mode, it's really no secret that Halo 5's theater mode is just buggy and glitchy and weird. I don't know all of the issues with it because I don't use it much because I barely play the game. But it does have a ton of weird issues, and the big thing is the reticle placement. The reticle placement when you watch a theater film is not accurate. It's not exactly where your reticle was when you actually played that match. You know, there's times where when you're watching the theater film and you're shooting at a player and you're getting hit markers like you're hitting the player, but your reticle's not on them. And most of you guys know what I'm talking about. It's weird. Your reticle is not placed where it was when you actually played the game. It's not accurate. So Halo's theater mode has declined in so many different ways since Halo 3. Like, Halo 3's theater mode, you could go in with 4 people. Halo Reach's theater mode, you could only go in by yourself. Halo 4, you could only go in by yourself, and now you don't have campaign theater. Halo 5, you can only go in by yourself, you don't have campaign theater, and the theater mode has a ton of bugs and is weird. And that is just such a damn shame to see, because theater mode was first introduced in Halo 3 back in 2007. One of the first games to have a theater mode, to my knowledge. Like, and it was great. It was a great theater mode. It was polished for the most part. It was really good. It was before its time. And, like, Halo had a head start over a lot of other games with theater mode. It was one of the first games to do it. And that was in 2007. So, you would think in 2019 or whenever Halo 5 came out, 2015 or I don't know, whenever Halo 5 came out, you would think that the theater mode in that game would be insane, would be incredible. But that's just not the case at all. Theater mode came in hot with Halo 3. It really did. And it would have been so nice to have seen theater mode get these improvements with each Halo game. Or even if it couldn't have been improved, just carry over everything that was in Halo 3's theater mode with each Halo game. But instead, the worst possible thing happened. Theater mode was at a steady decline since Halo 3. It kept getting worse with each Halo game. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Like what's Halo Infinite going to be? No theater mode? It's going to be taken out in Halo Infinite? Or it's not going to be there at launch? I can honestly see that. Theater mode's not a huge deal for some people, but for people that make videos or montages, theater mode is a very big deal. Very big deal. And like, I want my Halo 3 theater back. I want that. Shit, I can deal with the whole being able to go in by myself. That's not the end of the world to me. I don't like it. I still don't understand why. It would be nice to go in with other people, but even I can deal with that. That ain't the end of the world to me, but I still think it's incredibly stupid that Halo 3 you could go in the theater with 4 people, and every other Halo game you can only go in by yourself. But not being able to do campaign theater in Halo 4 and 5, and Halo 5's theater mode being all buggy, like, I can't do that. No, like even if I played Halo 5, I wouldn't use the theater. Like, if I was trying to get a good gameplay, I would have to record each game that I play, each match. I would have to record them live, because the theater mode in Halo 5 is just buggy and garbage. Alright, so now I want to talk about what is currently my biggest complaint about Halo's theater mode. More specifically, MCC's theater mode. And I'm sure most of you already know where I'm going with this, and this is kind of what inspired me to make this video, is the fact that you can't save films locally on your Xbox in MCC. You cannot save films. You can't do it. I mean, I really shouldn't have to elaborate on why that is terrible, but I will anyway. Well, for one, it's bad just for the fact that you could save films in a Halo game that is 12 years old. So just for that fact alone, not being able to save films in MCC is terrible, stupid. But it's also disappointing that you can't save films on MCC for obvious reasons. Like, if I have a really good game or something interesting happens in a match or whatever, I can't save it and go back and watch it. Several years from now, I won't be able to get on MCC and look at all my old matches I have saved, like I can on OG Halo 3. On OG Halo 3, whenever I got a nice multi-kill or any kind of a clip, after that match was over, I just switched to the theater lobby, saved that game, and went back to matchmaking and kept playing. Like, can't do that on MCC. In MCC, if I get a really cool clip in a game, once that match is over, to be safe, I gotta go right to theater, I gotta start up the film. Well, if the film's even there, I know that's an issue on MCC. Sometimes your games won't show up in theater. I've experienced that before. But I gotta go into the film clip, and I gotta record the clip with my capture card right then and there. I can't save the film clip for later or forever. And I know I could use the Xbox DVR to record the clip when it actually happens in-game, but DVR quality isn't as good as if I record it with a capture card. So, and I'm all about getting the best quality possible. So game DVR means nothing to me. And I think that 343 feels that game DVR is the equivalent to being able to save films locally on your Xbox like you can in theater mode and all the other Halo games. And that just couldn't be more untrue. DVR is not the same thing at all. And like I talked about earlier, when people are making montages or whatever, people like to record different angles for their multi-kills or their clips or whatever it may be. And you can't do that with game DVR. Like, if I get an overkill in a game and I record it with Xbox DVR, I can't go into that DVR clip later and go fly cam and record different angles. No. I could only do that if I could locally save that game in MCC itself and go into the film clip, go detach the camera, go fly cam, and record my angles like that. But since you can't save games on MCC, if you want to record, angles for your clips, you'd have to get, you could either get some buddies into a custom game together, you'd have to kind of reenact or stage the clip so you could, and then go to theater and record the angles that way, or you'd right after that match where you get that clip, or before it gets deleted from the recent films, you'd have to go in and record all your angles right then and there. But, that's not practical. Every time you get a clip, you go right in, and you'd have to go right into that theater clip and record the angles. I mean, you don't even know what kind of montage you're making yet, or things might change as you're making the montage. So that's not ideal at all. We really need to be able to save film clips. That is such a big thing. Now, in the most recent MCC dev blog, there was a Q&A, and someone asked, is saving clips something the team has talked about and is planning to work on? And here was the answer. We have talked about it, but we are not willing to commit to it right now, as we haven't scoped out the full body of work around theater just quite yet. It is on the list to investigate because we do recognize the specific need of content creators to access that and use films. Okay, so they do say they recognize the need for content creators to save films. They do say that. But here is why this is so annoying. This is why they say we are not willing to commit to it right now. We haven't scoped out the full... It was already in MCC. Like, what? You could already do this. You could already save films locally on MCC. Back when MCC first came out, you could do this. I had a couple film clips saved. And then they took it out. All my locally saved films just disappeared one day, and I had no idea what happened. I don't know where they went. Like, it was already in the game. You could already save films. I was saving films and rewatching them. It was already in the game. So what do you mean you're not willing to commit to it right now? We're not asking you to do anything. It was already in there. It was there. Like, what? Like, that's a new one, ain't it? You hear about things not being in a game at launch, but they come later. But what about features that are there at launch and then get removed later on? Like, what? That's a new one. My very first game of MCC was Halo 3 Team Slayer on Foundry. And I got a perfection. That game. My first game of MCC, I got a perfection. And it was a good game. And I saved that film. But ever since they removed that feature, now that film clip is gone. Like, I wanted that film clip. I wanted to go back and look at that and rewatch it. Now, I don't know if 343 ever came out and gave any reasoning as to why they've removed this feature to be able to save films on MCC. Maybe they did it because there was Xbox DVR, but first off, Xbox DVR isn't a good substitute, and second off, if it was already in the game, why remove it? I don't get it. In Halo 3 and Reach and Halo 4 even, I have so many film clips saved. A bunch of multi-kills, a bunch of cool things that happened in-game. I have so many films saved, but when it comes to MCC, I got nothing. Obviously because you can't save films on MCC, but even with Xbox DVR, I don't have much saved because, like I said, the quality of Xbox DVR, it can be good, but it's still not as good as if I record with my capture card. Also, my Xbox DVR storage gets full all the time, and it's not a good alternative to actually being able to locally save films on MCC itself. To those of you who make montages for MCC, I don't know how you do it. I really don't. Like, how do you record angles? Like, do you go into that theater film, like, right after that match that you got that multi-kill or whatever it is, and record your angles there? And if you're not editing it yourself, do you send that footage over of all the angles to your editor? Or do you go into a custom game with some people and kind of stage the clip, to reenact it to get angles and record them that way? Like, I don't get it. So if you look right here, you'll see for maps and game types and screenshots, you see you got temporary files and private files. And then here for theater, you only have temporary files. Well, like I mentioned, back when MCC first came out, you also had private files for theater. You could save films, but that just got removed. It's such a weird thing. It really is. Like, I mean, just you look at it right here. You got temporary files and private files for everything, except for theater, it's just temporary files. And the private files used to be there. You used to be able to save films. They took it out, and now they're acting like it'll take time for them to put it back. We are not willing to commit to it right now. We haven't scoped out the full body of work around theater. What work? It was already in. What do you got to work on? It was there. It was work to take it out. I don't know. That's what's the most annoying to me. Not that you can't save films on MCC, but the fact that you could, and then they removed it. That's what's really annoying. I mean, how is that not annoying? Well, that's pretty much it. That's enough of me ranting on about theater mode. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to save films again on MCC and MCC on PC. I mean, hopefully the theater mode is good when it finally does come to MCC on PC. Hopefully the controls aren't all weird and everything. And hopefully theater mode in Halo Infinite is... Well, let's hope theater mode is in Infinite. I mean, with the way theater mode has been going with each Halo game, I wouldn't doubt it if it wasn't in Infinite. But let's hope it is in there, and let's hope it's as good as it was in Halo 3. But that's just wishful thinking. I doubt that'll be the case, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think. I know some of you probably don't care about theater mode at all. It's probably not a big deal to you, but it was a big deal to me because I used it a ton in Halo 3, and I know it's a big deal to montage makers and content creators. And yeah, thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.